would be a grave mistake. They need to look at a situation like the Rams or like the Philadelphia Eagles and go, uh-oh, can we learn from maybe paying a guy too much money, so to speak? Dak Prescott deserves good player money.
I missed the video of Dan watching Dan from earlier, but this will have to do. Two-time Super Bowl champ, our friend Rob Ninkovich in the building. Rob, good to see you. And I want to start with you here, Rob, because I already asked the guys this. Do you think Dak is worth $40 million a year?
No, I don't. I don't think he's worth 40. I mean, that's a lot of money. So you figure if you pay him 40, 20% of your cap is going to be dedicated to your quarterback. So you better pick every single draft pick perfectly, or else you're going to be in trouble.
Well, listen, here's the deal. It ain't about what you're worth. It's about what you can get. Let's remember that. Let's also remember that we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys here. Now, if I'm a teammate of Rob Ninkovich and I'm on the New England Patriots and we're winning Super Bowls, that's a very valid point. If I've been playing for the Dallas Cowboys for the last 25 years and I've got about 3 playoff victories to show for it in that span, and I the only thing I can catch is a cold. I can't get anything right. Can't get right, for crying out loud. That's my nickname, and that's what I've been saddled with for many, many years, and all I've got to fall back on are headlines playing in Jerry World's billion-dollar playpen, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and a nation of delusional, nauseating fans that make you want to vomit every time you hear them talk about how about them Cowboys, as if there's something to cheer about when there ain't a damn thing to cheer about, okay? And if that's what I got to deal with, then all of a sudden he might be worth $40 million. Because what do you have? You paid other people. You paid Jalen Smith, you paid DeMarcus Lawrence, all right? You paid a bunch of other folks. You kept Sean Lee around with his injury-prone self, even though he's a gifted player when healthy. The bottom line is you tried a lot of different things, and a damn thing worked. Dak Prescott comes there. Even before that, Tony Romo was there, injury-prone. Dak Prescott's been there the last 4 years. Before this season, hadn't missed a game. Hadn't missed a single game. It was back page headlines when he missed a practice. He's reliable. He's trustworthy. He's a model citizen. He's won 42. He's got a 42-27 record as a starter. He's got a career completion percentage of over 65%. He's gotten you to the playoffs twice. He's won a playoff game, and your team stunk without him. So all of those things taken into consideration, do I think on its face he's worth $40 million as an individual talent when you consider the fact that Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and others are getting less? No, I don't believe that. But if you're the Cowboys, and what's your alternative plans? Andy Dalton or Lord knows who else? I'm sorry. I think that he does warrant that because of what you're asking him to represent as a face of that franchise. Yeah.
Well, Dan said he doesn't deserve to be the highest paid player in the league. And to quote Clint Eastwood from Unforgiven, deserves got nothing to do with it. The fact of the matter is, several years ago, it would have been a mistake. Last year, and I did not like the Goff contract at the time. I did not like the Wentz contract at the time. I think just because the market's irrational in terms of how much they value the quarterback doesn't mean that you have to follow suit if you don't have a truly great quarterback. And they're only, by definition, a handful on the far right end of the bell curve, right? You have Patrick Mahomes. You have Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady just showed you still have Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, maybe 1 or 2 others. That's it. Those are the guys worth top of the market. And even then, you got to be careful how much you pay them because there's just not enough money to go around. That's why there's a hard cap. Because every time you see a hard cap, it ain't about competitive balance. That's a lie that the owners peddle to the fans. It's only ever about, in every sport, funneling money from players to the owners. So players have to make choices. Well, do I want to be on a winner or do I want to get paid? Or I'm going to have to get paid a little less to be on a winner. But understand that's the reality. And if you pay a good player great money, you're handcuffing yourself. But here's the thing, Rob, and this is why I disagree right now, why you're going to have to give him the money, the $40 million a year. 3 things happened throughout the course of this negotiation. 1, Andy Dalton wasn't nearly as good as Dak. You think Andy Dalton's a good backup. Wow, it's a good backup. Dak's not that good, really. He's not, No, actually, that was a huge fall off. That makes Dak look even better. 2, the NFC East, there's no quarterback in the division. So there's a very good chance you sign Dak and you have a home playoff game for the foreseeable future. You've really tilted the scale in your favor. You're going to host a playoff game, unless big things change in the NFC East. You should have a huge advantage, at least, going into each season with a chance to host a playoff game because the division's weak and there are no other quarterbacks. And 3, they franchise tagged him, Rob. They franchise tagged him. $37 million they're going to owe him. Next year it's 53 or 4. So at this point in the game, Jerry lost the negotiation. It's over. He's already lost. It's just an issue of when he's going to sign up. Because what else can he do? Next year, if Dak walks, there'll be enough quarterback-starved teams that he's going to get his close to $40 million a year anyway. And if he doesn't, what, are you going to franchise him again? $53, $54 million? All against the cap in that year? You can't prorate it like you can with a signing bonus? No. They've lost this negotiation already. My prediction is Dak will sign a 3-year deal right around $120 million.
So, look, when I hear you guys talking, I get it. I mean, look, the Cowboys screwed this up, and Jerry Jones, he really screwed this whole thing up. But when you talk about the value and evaluating a quarterback, I mean, Kirk Cousins is the highest paid quarterback or has made the most of any quarterback in the last 3 years. And, is he a great quarterback? Is he the best quarterback for the Vikings? Nah, I don't know about that. So, you look at these teams, if you pay him $40 million a year, look at Seattle. Russell Wilson, prime example. When he was on his rookie contract, they made it to the Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl. They pay Russell Wilson. They have to cut a bunch of guys on defense. And he's complaining because their offensive line isn't that great. Well, it's probably because you're one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And if you were making a lot less, they could spread that money around. So if you're Dak, he has to make a decision. Do I want to be the highest paid quarterback, or do I want to go somewhere and win and compete for a Super Bowl championship? Because if you're the highest paid quarterback, you're making $40 million a year, they're not going to be right on every single draft pick. They're not. And they're going to have to cut one of your key guys. They're going to have to cut somebody that's making a lot of money. So I think the cap's at what, 180?
It's not coincidence, I think, Rob, to your point, that Tom Brady has all those Super Bowl rings, and he's the guy who always restructured and took less than he would have gotten on the market and was reasonable about that. But in Dak's position, as Stephen A. might point out, why would you trust the Cowboys to field a Super Bowl team even if you took less? What would give you confidence that they would get that right? You might as well get paid.
Yeah. Tom Brady was also married is also married to Gisele Bündchen, who's worth more than him.
You gotta take that out of the picture. I mean, I hate when people say that, though. When you say, "Oh, well, you're married to somebody that makes a lot of money."
Because when you're talking about when you're talking about somebody's net worth and your money, Rob, I mean, that's what it is for them at home. They'd be multimillionaires regardless. I mean, so you're talking about somebody like Dak that doesn't have a big bank account to sit on. It's different for different people. So he already has that cushion no matter what. Their home situations are different. It does matter. It's pertinent. That's what their life is behind closed doors.
When you're worth $200 million, what's the difference between $400 million? I mean, look, 100 millionaires are worth $100 million. I mean, I don't know. What's your way of life? Is it, I'm going to ride on a different jet or a private jet? Like, I'm going to wear different clothes? No, I mean, but along the way, he's made the money, and when you win Super Bowls, guess what? The money follows you. So everything else that he does, he makes money on.
Yeah, I think Rob's point, Molly, is that if you're a quarterback and you're going to get $100 million guaranteed, what's the difference between 100 and 110? In other words, like, if you can be reasonable on the extreme end, maybe you can give your team a little breathing room. I just don't think the Cowboys have shown that they'll put that money to good use.
Hold on, y'all are being a bit too scientific.
People should get what they deserve, but then you can't. That's right. If you say people should get what they deserve, then you can't look at what the wife is making. That doesn't make sense.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line, because people are being a bit too scientific with all this. At the end of the day, Molly, it's this.